Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, guys. Welcome to Otaku. Chris is talking, and this is your weekly anime review for ACCA 13, also known as ACCA 13. There is a long ass title, but who has time to be trying to pronounce the title of this? Fuck that. Anyways, so this is for episode 3. Can't believe we're on episode 3. It's kind of getting there. One thing I think is pretty cool about this series is that it's so suave and cool, and there's so much mystery behind it, and you know something's about to happen, or like, I don't know, it's so political as well. I personally like this series. Is it the best series of winter anime 2017? No, but it is definitely not the stereotypical generic shit which I've been watching, or which is just kind of there. I prefer seinen series, so I'm enjoying this. If you're new to my channel, do subscribe, as it helps me a lot, and it's good to know you guys are joining me on my journey. And then if there's any times I post things, you guys can get notifications to be part of the notification squad. I don't know why I'm talking like this. What else is there? Oh yeah, I also want to give a shout out to Cohen. I can't speak right now. So basically, Cohen, he sent me a message on anime amino. All my details are down below. And then he's the person who basically did my current YouTube banner, my new Otaku Chris is Talking banner. And like, personally, it's one of the nicest things somebody's done for me, who I don't even know what this person looks like, and they went out of their way to do it for me. So I just definitely want to give a shout out. If you're on anime amino, definitely check out his page. If you want to check out my page, feel free to do that. But mostly, all the praise goes to him. Alright, so let's go into this review. This episode starts off with Gene Otis basically going on a dinner date with director Mauve, who is looking fly as fuck. Totally fly. And what's crazy is, like, at first I was wondering, are we ever going to see Gene Otis actually have any form of anything? Is he going to be shy? Are we going to see him drunk? Is we going to see him angry? Because everyone around him has personality, but he himself doesn't. And at first I thought, oh, this is good. This is something that can add to this series. But then obviously there's a point when you want more depth to the characters, and thank God for that. The anime gods have listened to me, and literally, when director Mauve wasn't looking when she opens the door for him, Gene Otis basically seen blushing before he's even drunk. So it's not that he's drunk or he's been drinking or anything. It's like he's like, he blushes, and I think he ends up saying, I took a note over here. What is it? I'm so glad I stuck it out. So literally, he was going to leave, but him being on dinner date with director Mauve, one of the reasons why he stuck around, definitely. So that's pretty cool. In the dinner date, it was mostly a chance for director Mauve to have a discussion with Gene Otis away from everyone else, so away from Gene's house, away from work, away from whatnot, and just making it seem a bit more natural. That way that cheeky fucking prick Nino can't be eavesdropping on every single thing that's going on. But director, I'm fucking wiping my eye so much. Why am I doing that? It's this light. So in this dinner date, director Mo basically kind of explains to Gene the situation about the coup d'etat, and this guy is clueless as fuck. He had no idea, not even the fucking smallest inkling. This guy was so perfectly goody two shoes, teacher's pet kind of fucking nonsense, that like he didn't notice that there was a whole political madness going on around him, and everyone's eyes are on him. And I'll get more into that in a second, and later on in this review. So yeah, so that was pretty much what the conversation was about, and director Mo was basically saying that she's aware of this going on, and she would like Gene to help her out, so that when he's going around checking out the different districts, doing his job basically, if he can basically not scoop, but just be more aware, more aware, more alert, and if there is anything that kind of stands out, if he could kind of report back to her. Him being pussy whipped because she was hella fine. He even mentions like, damn, she was really good looking. How am I supposed to see no to that? He basically just kind of agrees. He's like, yeah, sure, why not? And he agrees to that, and then basically the episode kind of goes on, and like it kind of diverts from that, and it starts going into like the whole kingdom stuff, and this is when we get a bit more world building and more plot development. And this part of the episode is where I feel like the series is starting to pick up now, because before we focused a lot on Gene, we focused a lot on people kind of watching him, and we heard little things about coup d'etat, and as I mentioned, I had a huge feeling that the coup d'etat was going to be the main important like plot progression, the plot storyline for this series, and it is, and this episode really kind of hammers it in and shows us this is exactly what it's going to be about. But we then get to see it from the perspective of other people, from higher ups, from royalty, and not just the ACCA 13. Basically, Gene Otis, he ends up getting an invitation by the prince and the royal family and whatnot for a gathering. No one knows what the gathering's for, but it's for a gathering. And when we're basically finding out about the gathering, we're getting more character development. We see the prince, we see the king, and we find out that the prince, who we see first, I think, he isn't the direct in line. He was basically the actual king himself. He wanted an heir. He always heirs were basically heiresses. Is that a thing? Heiresses? Princesses. Basically, they were all just women. All his children were women. He didn't have any sons. So the current prince right now is actually the son of his first daughter. So he's basically the person who's next in line to become king, if it be that way. Turns out to be that this kid is a prick. What was his name? Prince Xuan. I wrote Prince Xuan, idiot. So basically, Prince Xuan, he's meant to be a proper fucking idiot. He's meant to be one of those princes that, like, he's not like being manipulated as such, because he's a goody two shoes and he has that evil uncle manipulating him, which is what I thought was happening in this, because we get to see, the council advisor, or like the president of the council. We get to see the president of the council, and I thought that president of the council had his strings in the background, and he kind of has. But I like this series because it turns out to be that it's not really leading us exactly where I thought it was. I thought the president of the council was basically behind the whole idea of Prince Xuan becoming the king, because there's a lot of thing about the crowning of Prince Xuan, what a fucking word, Shawarma, the crowning of Prince Xuan, and him basically being crowned and and in the gathering, Prince Xuan was basically going to announce that he was hoping that his granddad was going to say, I retire from being king. And because at that time of the gathering was also the time when Prince Xuan was having his coming of age, that would have been a perfect time for him to be then crowned king, which is when Prince Xuan already had this whole spiel, he had this whole speech, he was ready to literally tear down the city. Now, what was good about this episode as well, we also get to have a bit of world building. We get to leave where we're currently at now, and we go to the Doa kingdom, and in this kingdom it's nice. It's more like, I don't know, it's less city and more country, and in this country, like the kingdom themselves, the royalty, they have quite a lot of rules, and one of the rules is like something about cigarettes. I'm so sorry if I totally fuck up about the whole rules of cigarettes, but if you know it properly, if you are better than me, just leave it in the comment box down below. As you guys know, anytime that you guys want to, feel free to remind me how much I'm fucking up. Comment box, yeah. So there's loads of like rules that which don't kind of match up with what's going on in the current kingdom. And what was interesting is Gene Otis gave no fucks. Imagine, he's there. He's there at the crowning thing, like everyone's all chilling, all mingling and whatnot, and he just goes, I'm gonna go outside. Lights up, and everyone's looking at him like, this guy, this motherfucker, he's just out there on the balcony. He gave no shits. He's just smoking away like it's a normal thing. But yeah, so that was pretty interesting. So I like the Doa Kingdom, so that's a nice bit of world development. And when he went there, what was also pretty interesting is that Nino, he went there as well because he's part of the ACCA 13, but then he brought along Gene's sister. I found that kind of weird. It's kind of like, why are you bringing his sister? What's in it for you? So maybe it's to give him an alibi, to not make it look like if Nino was there, then it would only be Nino and Gene, and maybe like him being that close in front of everyone would kind of give it away. But it turns out to be that most of the higher ups know that Nino is Black Crow. Oh, I was going to call him Black Crow for. So most people there know that Nino is Crow. Only the higher ups, but like the people who basically use Nino as the PI that he is, they use his alter ego, basically. They use his alter ego Crow to do the shady shit. Here's fucking something. Mauve knows that Nino is Crow. That threw me for a loop. That really threw me for a loop, because I was thinking to myself, if Mauve knows, because she actually went up to Nino, had a little chat on the side and said, I know you're Crow. And you got to see that like this really affected Nino, and it's kind of messed them up, because even later on in the episode, Nino then speaks to some of the other higher ups and says, Mauve knows about this. No, Mauve knows about my code name and blah blah. Like, what should I do about her? What should we do about bloody Gene Otis? Like, what's going on? It seems like his whole plan, his mission might break apart. But she's keeping it on the DL. And now, if she told Gene straight up from the get-go, I would have thought, yeah, she's definitely on Gene's side. But because she hasn't told Gene that his fucking best friend is Crow, and Crow is basically fucking has his fingers in all the pies, watching him from a side and shit like that. I feel like she wants to either A, have the upper hand on Crow or some of the other higher ups, or B, she has her own ulterior motive herself, which we'll probably get in a few more episodes. But yeah, so I'm just going to turn around my notes really quickly. Something that's pretty interesting as well is Prince Shawarma as well. Prince Shawarma, oh my god, Prince Schwan. I don't know. Basically, the prince. I'm not even gonna. I'm not even. Literally, my reviews are just all in one take. So I'm just gonna keep Prince Shawarma. We're just gonna keep Prince Shawarma. He basically made the rule that everyone that was coming up there, all the ACCA 13, not 13, but all the members of who work in ACCA, he wanted none of them to be in uniform because he felt that, well, he believed that he was going to be crowned. So he wanted everyone to look normal. But it's kind of like, why did everyone have to be gathered? Now, everyone's supposed to be gathered so that they could be there to hear that once Prince Shawarma, fuck it, that's his name, once Prince Shawarma was crowned, that he was going to disband ACCA. Interesting. Didn't happen. So it was kind of like a really awkward moment because the bloody Grandad King, he's there, and then like he makes a speech saying, "Oh, I'd like to thank all of you for being here." Mic drop. Just walks away, and Prince Shawarma's left there like, you're meant to basically say that I'm the king now. What the fuck's going on here, bruh? So didn't happen, which ended up fucking up his speech. And what's interesting is I thought that the president of the council was basically telling the king was advising the king to make Prince Shawarma the next king. Turns out to be he wasn't. He basically probably advised him to not make him the next king. So either this advisor who looks like a creepy bastard may actually be a good guy, and as this is a seinen series, it may not be doing the usual generic thing of this guy looks like a bad guy, he's a bad guy. No, even though he has the whole demeanor of a bad guy, he's not. So I'm interested to see more character development about the president of the council, seeing what's going on there. I'm interested to see more about the king of the Doe Kingdom, finding out more about him. And like, he doesn't seem that stupid. He looked like he was one of those stupid kings, but you know, he's not. He doesn't look that stupid. So let's find out more in the future. I'm interested to see what's going on with Mauve. What's her ulterior motive? What is she doing? Why does she not tell Jean that Nino is a fucking spy? That Nino is Crow. And obviously, you may not know fully that Crow is the person who's investigating Jean like itself, but she knows that Nino is Crow, and I'm sure that Jean probably knows about Crow because he all works there and he's not that stupid. All right, so what else was there? So basically, we find out, we get to see the chief officer, didn't get his name, but the chief officer at the very end, Jean notices outside smoking, and then the chief officer basically just comes up to Nino and comes up to Jean and tells him everything. He's like, "Oh, are you out here because you felt like all the eyes were on you?" And he's like, "Yeah, I kind of wanted to just get out." And then he basically not even lets it slip, just told him straight up, "By the way, everyone here thinks that, everyone here believes that you are the person who's leading the coup d'etat because the rumors are that it's you, so everyone believes that. No one knows where the rumors come from, but there's a high chance that it comes from Gosselier. Fucking hell. From him, basically, the guy with the silver hair. Let's get this out of the way. It's kind of awkward. Yeah. All right. So basically he now then we get a little bit of character development with him, find out that his older brother, younger brother, they're all part of the ACCA, and then they're all higher ups and blah blah. Good on you, buddy. But like, he ends up at the very end asking Jean Otis to also join him to kind of go against the people who are doing the coup d'etat, and he thinks it's Gosselier. And yeah, so we don't find out Jean's answer because the episode does that thing where it's kind of like after that conversation it kind of cuts and she's Jean outside smoking his next cigarette, which is relit because of the position of where the ash was falling off. Don't ask why, I fucking know this. But yeah, I'm sorry, this is a longer video than usual. This is a review, but I took quite a lot of fucking notes. I feel like this is a slight Game of Thrones things. People want to have the bloody throne. Why did I find it so hard to say throne? People want to have the throne. There's a coup d'etat going on. Like, people in ACCA, they're all backstabbing each other. Mauve, she knows something. Bloody the chief officer, he wants Jean. Bloody Mauve wants Jean. Nino's watching Jean. Gosselier, he's there just fucking watching everyone. So yeah, that was pretty much that. Also, Prince Shawarma, he fancies Gene Otis's younger sister, the one that Nino brought along to the castle. Why did Nino bring her? I feel like there's some shady shit going there, and that this has probably more to do with the coup d'etat. Maybe, sorry, I burped. That's kind of awkward. Maybe Nino, he's trying to get in. I don't know what the fuck Nino's trying to do. I can't speak right now. Leave your theories down below. Let me know your reasons why. The one that gets the most likes or whatever, blah blah blah, I will give you guys a shout out. And once again, I love you guys. Thank you for joining me. The numbers are going up as always. And feel free to leave comments. Let me know your ideas of this episode, what you thought of it. If you enjoyed my review, do subscribe, as it's nice, I know, because I've only got like 600 and few people. Peace.